Welcome to the live stream on the road, DMV traffic without my boy Elton. I'm sitting in this crazy traffic over here by 495. If you guys are familiar with it, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm actually running a little bit low on gas, but I think I'll be alright. So it is draft week, which I'm really excited about. Um, for those that are in the DC area, man, stop by Lucky's 6 p.m. Thursday night. Mark Holmes and the rest of us Cowboy Conglomerate will be there. E2 Blue, Michael Anthony Fitness. I'll get my boy Clarence MIA to come out. Um, I think New York Stinking Giants fan will probably be there. He'll probably be there bright and early because you know what? The Giants suck, and you know what? They need this draft as bad as anybody. But you know what? They sucked last year, and they're still in the same position. But it is what it is. You know, I'm not here to talk about the Giants. I'm here to talk about the Cowboys. It is draft week. I am excited about it because you know what? Even though we don't have a day one pick, we could just sit back and watch everybody else make mistakes. And while we watch them make mistakes, we can kind of formulate our draft board as to how things will fall. I see Milton says, no matter what the Giants do, they won't be ready. That's an understatement. You know what I mean? Like, the Giants stink at this point. I don't think there's anything that they can do to not be in this position for next year. I know what they could do. Maybe, I don't know. Nah, I mean, they could draft a quarterback this year, and when Eli stinks it up, let the young guy get his get his turn, and then maybe they'll change things around. But until then, they still got Eli Manning, and they still stink. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to go live today while I'm not doing anything but sitting in this crazy traffic because somebody probably got in an accident, was discuss the draft and the many ways that it could go for the Cowboys. And I know that I keep talking about it, I keep harping on it, I keep doing videos. But I actually listened to the draft show this morning, the last draft show, and it's actually pretty crazy because, what I think is a lot different than what those guys think. And for what I hear from them, it really looks like the guy that we probably more than likely will end up with is Juan Thornhill. Probably. I know a lot of people keep saying Zach Allen, but I just don't see the interest in Zach Allen. Not to say that he's not good enough for us to get, because I think that getting Zach Allen would be I think it'd be really good, especially if Will McClay okays it. I'm okay with it if Will McClay okays it. So, but I just don't see it, I just don't see it. Now, another thing that really came up was, is 58 too rich for a running back? And my thing is, the defensive tackle position, as deep as I thought it would be, the type of guys that we need will probably be gone by 58. So it's like, do you want to go out and reach and get a guy that's really like, maybe the 70th person off the board, or like the 70th best player? Like, do you trade back? Like, what do you do? For me, I think that sometimes, like, if you can't find a willing trade partner to trade back a little bit and get something else, maybe you get another fourth rounder or whatnot, I think you just got to stand pat. And if you just end up with the running back, you end up with the running back. If you end up with Damian Harris, you end up with Damian Harris. I know it's not popular, but I mean, ultimately, if you look at our team, we don't really have any glaring needs. We have positions that we can upgrade, but as far as glaring needs where it was an absolute problem, I don't think that the Cowboys are in that situation where they can't get by with what they have right now. See, all we're trying to do right now is stack on top of what we're doing. But at the safety position, yeah, I know a lot of people, you hate Jeff Heath, but we could get by with Jeff Heath. We have done it. We just finished the year with the top 10 defense with Jeff Heath. Probably, I believe he started in all the games, and he was healthy, and we got by. Not just got by, but we won the division. We won 10 games. We won a playoff game with Jeff Heath, with Kayvon Frazier, with Xavier Woods. We won the playoff game with those guys. So, tight end. I know a lot of people like Jarwin. I know they like Schultz. We got by with that group. We don't really have something that is like where we are completely weak at the position. So I know that a lot of people don't want to hear about drafting a running back at 58, but I mean, I just feel like if you can go ahead and get the best running back at that point and everybody else that you want is gone, just go ahead and stand pat and get the running back. Let's see, with Milton says, right, bro, with the running back, we will never lose pace in a football game when Zeke goes out of a game. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. I know that people are, thinking that, well, if we get a running back, like, he's not going to play. No, he's going to play. They are interested in a running back because we're killing Zeke Elliott at this point. And while we're killing him, you leave him susceptible to injuries. And if he gets injured, then what do we have? You know what I mean? Like, because he's a high volume person in our offense. He actually added catching the football a lot last year. So, you don't want him to gas out like we started to see him slow down a little bit towards the end of the year. You don't want him to gas out. You want somebody that is not necessarily him, but comparable to where there isn't such a drop-off when Zeke is out. And we're running into that issue right now where, I know a lot of guys last year killed me for saying that, I thought we needed to upgrade the position because Rod Smith isn't cutting it. And I think we're back in the same position. We didn't address it. We tried to address it with a 7th-round pick who didn't make the team. But, I think that I don't see the big difference in drafting a running back at 58 or drafting a running back at 90. I know that the draft show, they were talking about, I just don't like a running back at 58. But at 90, I like a running back. And I'm like, well, 58 is damn near a 3rd-round pick. I know that 90 is a little bit later on, is a little bit pushed back. But it's in the 3rd round, but still, sorry about that. What else position? 3 technique. A lot of us have been screaming for a 3 technique over the last few years. And I'm okay with it if we get a 3 technique at 58. We're at the point now where, like I said, they're looking at linebacker. Well, 3 technique would be good, or 1 technique would be good. I think that actually 58 is probably a little too rich for 1 technique. But still, they got a 1 technique. Anything that we draft at this point, unless it's like a quarterback or a kicker, I feel that we're justified in doing so. I think that the draft board is much more open this year than it was last year, which is a great thing. Last year, the draft was way more important. We had to hit on it. This year, I still think we need to hit on the draft because we have a lot of contracts coming up. But it's wide open. It's much more wide open. Last year we had, we need a linebacker. We need a receiver. We needed to hit on those. We definitely needed, what else did we need last year? I thought we needed the defensive lineman. But it is what it is. We hit last year on the draft. I believe we will hit again. And I think that you can, but the way that our team is built this year, you're able to take more risk. And you're able to take more risks on players that are better. You're not really reaching. You don't have the same needs. So I'm just excited. See, Keith Parrish says, how about another Dez Bryant? Not Dez Bryant, but a player like him. I'm not opposed to that. I really didn't have a problem with Dez as much, except for the fact that I believe that that we could have brought in another receiver or tried to upgrade it to where Dez, because I always felt that Dez, even with his numbers, the big numbers, I always felt Dez was a really good number 2. So I think that you'll be able to find the Dez later on in this draft, a guy like him who will probably replace Noah Brown, and then by next year you got him ready to go ahead and, you know, make an impact. But I think that, you know, adding Michael Gallup last year doesn't really make that so much of a need, but it makes it a plus. Let's see. William, what's up, William? Tuning in from England. He said, I like what the Cowboys did in the offseason. We can go best player available. Absolutely. Except for a couple positions. We can't go best player available at quarterback because that would just be a waste of a pick at this point. Because believe it or not, Dak Prescott is going to sign that big deal. It's going to happen. Dak Prescott is going to be a Dallas Cowboy. He's going to be the starting quarterback for a while. You probably aren't looking at another quarterback until maybe next year. And that's if you do it next year. Okay, let's see. Vern said this is going to be an interesting draft. Dak Prescott does better with route runners. I agree. But now I think that we need to give Dak another tool. I think he needs a tight end, honestly. Like, I don't know. There's so many question marks as to whether or not Jason Witten can become serviceable. And at this point, I mean, I really don't care if he's serviceable or not. I think that by him retiring, you know, he was just really, like when he was playing as long as he did, he was just delaying the inevitable. And for some odd reason, they did not want to step on his toes. Him retiring allows me to step all over his toes. He only got a 1-year deal. At this point, I can't even depend on him like I could before. Obviously, looking at tight ends like they were, they're not as sold on the guys like I said before. So I'm all about, if I could go ahead and get my boy Dak a target to in between the hashes, a big target with really good hands, you know, why not? I know that a lot of people don't want to draft a tight end at 58, but at 58, you're going to get some of that's around the range where you get the top of the top tight ends. You know, like Gronk was a second-round talent. I believe Kelsey was a second-round talent. And, you know, when we ultimately went back to top tight ends, guess what? Those guys' name came up every year. So I'm definitely not against getting it at 58. I don't understand why so many people are upset at getting that position. The draft's open. Why not? Let's see. In my opinion, Williams said, in my opinion, we should go safety at 58. I'm sure one of those good safeties will still be there. I don't think so, William. That's just my opinion. I don't think that, though. I think you're going to have to trade up and get a safety. I don't know if Juan Thornhill will be there because he adds so much value to what he does. I think that one guy that will be there is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I believe you'll have a shot at getting him. I do think that they like him. But is he the best player still on the board? Is he the best player available? You know? I don't know. I personally don't believe that Chauncey is a better fit than Jay Sternberger. Somebody brought him up. I don't think he's as good a fit as Jace would be. Maybe we could get somebody else, though. Maybe they like somebody like Caden Smith or somebody else like that later on. But if you ask me, I think that Jace would be a really good fit. I'm beating the drum on that. I'm not sure everybody else feels the same way. I'm not sure that the Cowboys feel the same way. But it is what it is. Let me see. I'm out here doing dangerous stuff for y'all. Yeah, I see people talking about you really like Jarwin. And I like Jarwin as well. Don't get me wrong. But for some odd reason, these guys see Jarwin every day. All we see are the good things. All we see are the good things that Jarwin does. We don't see the practice habits. We don't see whether or not maybe the good things that we see out of Jarwin, because we only see like a small sample size. Maybe he's pretty limited in what he can do, and they just don't feel comfortable with things going forward. Maybe they don't feel comfortable with the development of Dalton Schultz. The reason that I say that, you allowed Jason Witten to come back. If you felt that you were good at the tight end position, you wouldn't have allowed him to come back. I don't care, legend or not. Hell, they cut Troy Aikman. They cut Emmitt Smith. So, why would they allow... Jason Witten is not as important to the franchise as those guys were. So, I mean, that's how I feel about that. Keith Parrish said we should draft another QB in 2020 just in case Dak Prescott gets hurt. If Dak does not get hurt, he can sit on the bench for 2-3 seasons, learn the QB position. I'm okay with that, because at this point, if we hit this draft, again, the more that you hit on drafts, the more that you have homegrown talent, the more risk you can take, the more risks that you can take come each draft. So I'm okay with that. See, Jarwin is 6'5", but we rarely use him. Vern said that. And it goes back to what I was saying. Maybe they just don't feel as comfortable with him being an every down tight end. And that's okay, because there are a lot of tight ends out there that are spell tight ends that you have on other teams that play a role. Maybe that is what Jarwin's role is. But I can't sit here and tell you that I don't believe that there are better tight ends in this draft that can give us an upgrade there. I do believe that. I mean, I've been beating the Jay Sternberger drum for a while, as you guys know, if you've watched the channel. Okay, Victor says, what do I do for work? I work for, I can't tell you where I work, but I do global supply chain management. So I get a lot of deals done with vendors for my company. So I do a lot of negotiating and stuff of that nature. So pretty much what I am is a glorified problem solver is what I do. Let's see. Trade Jordan Lewis. Why would you do that? I wouldn't trade Jordan Lewis. I'm actually one of the guys that thinks that he should play a lot more than he does. I like Jordan Lewis a lot. I think that he was given a raw deal. I'm not sure why, but Jordan Lewis was given a raw deal. If we feel like we can get something for him and we're not going to play him, all right, go ahead and trade him. But I don't think you're going to get much for him, because at this point, if we don't want him, unless somebody is calling for him, there's no real value with trading Jordan Lewis. You might as well just have him on the roster again, have him bail our ass out like he did in the Saints game again. So I'm okay with that. We play the Saints again, so, we're going to need him. I think we're going to need him anyway, because you never know, with Byron's hip injury or whatnot. I do feel confident that Jordan Lewis can step in and play the outside. Not sure about this coaching staff, but, corner is another position that is wide open at 58 or whatever, because there's a lot of lengthy guys in this draft that that they've been working out and that they've been doing their research on. So let's see. Williams say, what would it take to get from 58 to 42? It would damn near take, I know for a fact, we would have to give up 90 would have to be gone, and probably another pick. So to get to 42, who are we trying to get to 42? There's only a couple guys that I would do that for. And to be honest with you, they're probably not even safeties. I wouldn't give up all of that for a safety. I wouldn't. Because while I like the safety class, I don't think that anybody in this draft, as far as safety goes, is worth 3 picks. I don't believe that. I'll sit there and say that, but there are other positions that might be worth 3 picks. Somebody said Darnell Savage at 58. You know, guys gonna have to let that go, man. They're not interested in Darnell Savage like that. He's a fan favorite, but I just don't. Everybody keeps talking about Darnell Savage. Unless somebody can point to me where he's visited with the team or they've gone to see a workout or something like that. Like, I would love to have Darnell Savage. You guys don't know. I'm a Terrapin fan. I'm a big Terp fan. Big Terp fan. But I just don't see it happening. Just don't see it happening. They really love Taylor Rapp. They like Juan Thornhill, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think between those three, and Abram, but Abram ain't going to be there. But between those four, those are the guys they really like. And, I mean, I'm okay with that. I like all four of them. I'd be okay with all four. I'd be okay with any of those four. As long as we get to keep as long as we don't got to give up too much. Now, if we trade up to like number 50, that's a different story. You can give up one of your fourth rounders. And I'm all right with that. But as far as because then, you know, that's only 2 picks. But 3 picks, I don't like no safety in this draft enough to give up for it to be a value of 3 picks. Let's see. William P. said, did the Cowboys bring in Deontay Thompson for a visit? I don't know. I got to go back and check that. Because last time I checked the list, it was a couple of days ago. So, you know, some things could, because, you know, I hadn't seen Zach Allen on the list either. But, you know, apparently they really like Zach Allen as well. I don't know if they think that he'll be there or not, but we'll see. Let's see. What do I think about Irv Smith Jr. at 58? I'm not opposed to it. The only thing about Irv Smith Jr. is I kind of feel like Irv Smith Jr. is more of a H-back rather than a tight end. I'm not sure if I trust his blocking enough for him to be an every down tight end for the Cowboys. As a pass catcher, absolutely. He can add some value there. But, I mean, if Will McClay drafts him at 58, I trust the pick. But keep in mind, no visits for Irv Smith. So I don't think that he's the type of tight end they want. I think they want somebody that's a little bit bigger at that position as far as stature, as far as somebody that can run block. Because, let's just face it, guys, we are a running team. Let's see. William P. said they like Abram, but he is going first round. I think he is too. Dallas not trading up to 42. I believe they would trade up to 50. I'm with you on that, Vern. See, Cowboys fan says, what's up, DMV? Can't wait for Friday. I can't either. Cowboys fan, are you in the area? Because if you are, man, come chill with us on Thursday. We're going to be at Lucky's. And then I know that Mark is going to be doing a live stream. Mark Holmes is going to be doing a live stream Friday and Saturday. I probably won't make it over to his house to be there in person, but maybe I can Skype in. We'll see. Actually, I'll be at a wedding. Yeah, I definitely ain't going to be able to Skype in. I'm going to be in a wedding. I keep forgetting that. You know, my wife is going to knock me over the head because, you know, she's been telling me about this wedding for weeks, actually for months, and I just keep forgetting it because, you know, it's draft week, and draft week is way more important than sitting in on a wedding, in my opinion. Yeah, it'll be some good food and stuff, but hey, I'd rather sit there and watch the draft. It is what it is. Vern said, I think they brought in Zach Allen. Thank the Lord, because he might be there. See what they say. Rapp is a typical box safety. It's what we need, to be honest. And I mean, I kind of like Rapp. I kind of like Rapp as far as, I don't think he's rangy, but I think that he could be exactly what it is we need. I think that Taylor Rapp Yeah, a lot of people are hung up on that 4.7 to 4.8 40, 4.78 40. But in my opinion, he changed his direction really well, and I think that he's only gonna get better. I think that he's only gonna get faster. I also heard that he was hurt when he ran that 40 as well. So if you're gonna tell me this, he was hurt and he ran a 3.99 on the 20-yard shuttle, like that's elite, man. Like, I just need to know if you're changing direction and your eyes are there. Like, in my opinion, if you look at tape of all of the safeties, if you take out that 4.7, if you take out of the equation, he's got the best tape out of all of them, in my humble opinion. And you know, if you look on the draft show, they don't think he'll be at 58, but everything else is kind of giving clues that he will be there, which I think is nuts. I think that he's a top 50 player, but it is what it is. You know, things work out the way they're supposed to work out. Some guys get reached on, some guys get passed up. I think that I like Taylor Rapp's head as far as, you know, the IQ. That's what I like about him, and I like to change the direction. If you give me both of that at the safety position, I'm okay with it, especially at 58. At 58, that's a treat. I don't know why people are acting like Taylor Rapp is a bum because he ran the damn 4.78. Like, it is what it is. That's why he's at the second round. If he ran a 4.5, he would be a top 15 pick. You know, Abram ran a 4.5, and he's not a top 15 pick. That should tell you all you need to know. If Bryce Love is available at 136, I would draft him. Absolutely. Absolutely. To be honest with you guys, I like Bryce Love a lot better than Trayveon Williams. Honestly, I like Justice Hill better than Trayveon Williams. I think the Cowboys are in love with Trayveon Williams. I think they like Bryce Love as well. But yeah, I mean, that's how I feel about that. Hell yeah, if we ain't got no running back and he's still there at 136, Bryce Love all day. Bryce Love. And I think that it would offer not only a compliment to what Zeke does for us, but if Zeke does go down, he might be a little bit smaller, but I do think that he could be I think he could be our running back until Zeke comes back. I feel confident enough in him. Mike Weber as well. I don't know if I think Mike Weber, I don't know if he'll be a little bit later than 136, but I like Mike Weber as well. I feel the exact same way. So being that there's kind of a cluster at running back, I kind of feel that, you know, they can afford to kind of wait around on the running back position. They don't have to draft a guy a little bit. They don't have to draft him early. But, you know, we've seen crazier things in the draft, right? So, guys, I got to my destination. I got to go in, pick my son up, and try and get him to this martial arts class because he told me he really wants to do it. And we made a deal. So if he does martial arts and if I allow him to do martial arts, he told me he'd play flag football in the fall, which, you know, I'm happy about that. So I appreciate everybody that got on. I'm probably going to do live a little bit more and talk a little bit more, but I really love the Q&A. I really love the comments. And thank you guys for tuning in. Signing out. Peace.